You don't belong here!
Welcome to Voices Under Color, a channel where real stories, lived experiences, and uncomfortable truths about race, power, and discrimination are brought into the light. Today's story is one of humiliation, racism, and a moment that proved how quickly fake authority collapses when truth walks in. Animals like you don't belong in first class. Imagine boarding a plane, finding the seat you paid for, settling in quietly, and within minutes being told, without reason, that you don't belong. Imagine staying calm, explaining yourself, doing everything right, and still being insulted, threatened, and slapped in front of a full cabin of strangers. That's exactly what happened to Nia Carter. Nia boarded the flight that afternoon, expecting nothing more than a quiet journey. No attention, no confrontation, just peace. She wore simple clothes, jeans, a neutral blouse, sneakers. Comfortable, practical. She wasn't dressed to impress. She didn't need to be. She found her first-class seat, stowed her carry-on, and sat down. The cabin was calm, soft lighting, low voices, the scent of coffee and leather seats. For a moment, everything was exactly as it should be. Then the flight attendant saw her. Marilyn Graves had been walking the aisle with a rehearsed smile, warm for certain passengers, polite for others. Business suits, designer bags, familiar faces. But when her eyes landed on Nia, that smile disappeared. Not confusion, not curiosity, judgment. Marilyn stopped mid-step, stared for a second too long, then turned sharply and walked back toward Nia's seat. "You need to move," she said flatly. "This is first class." Nia looked up, surprised but composed. "I know," she replied calmly. "Is there a problem?" That was when the tension sharpened. Marilyn's eyes narrowed. "Yes, there is a problem," she snapped. "You don't belong here." Heads began to turn. Nia felt it instantly. This wasn't about seating. This wasn't a mistake. This was racism. "I have a valid ticket," Nia said evenly. "Everything is in order," Marilyn scoffed. "Don't talk back. I've been doing this job long enough to know who belongs in first class, and you don't." The cabin went quiet. Nia refused to shrink. "I'm not causing a problem," she said. "I paid for this seat." Marilyn laughed, sharp and cruel. "Stop pretending. Scammers always think they're clever." Then she leaned closer. "Go back to economy. That's where people dress like you belong." That was the moment Nia knew this would not end peacefully. She reached into her pocket and pulled out her phone. Her movements were slow, controlled. "Can you repeat that?" Nia asked quietly. The live stream started. Only seconds passed, but seconds were enough. Miles away in a glass-walled office near the airport, Julian Carter glanced at his phone, a live notification. His wife's name. He opened it immediately. He heard her voice. He heard the hostility. And without a word, Julian stood up, canceled his meeting, and walked out. Back on the plane, Marilyn snapped. Her hand moved fast. The slap cracked through the cabin. Nia's head snapped to the side as pain exploded across her face. Gasps erupted. Before anyone could react, Marilyn grabbed the phone and shut it off. "You don't have the right to record," she barked. "You don't belong here." Then she grabbed Nia's arm. "Get up." She yanked hard. Nia held onto the armrest, refusing to be dragged away like she was nothing. Passengers watched, some shocked, some uncomfortable. None intervened. Then a voice cut through the chaos. "Let go of my wife." Every head turned. Julian stood at the entrance of the cabin, calm, controlled, and unmistakably powerful. Behind him were two airline security directors. Marilyn released Nia instantly. The power in the cabin shifted. Julian walked forward slowly. "How dare you touch her?" he said quietly. Recognition drained the color from Marilyn's face. She finally understood. The woman she slapped was married to the CEO and owner of the airline. Julian wrapped an arm around Nia. "She slapped me," Nia said softly. "That's enough," Julian said coldly. He turned to Marilyn. "You're fired, effective immediately, and I will be pressing charges for assault." Security stepped in. Marilyn didn't resist. She couldn't. She was escorted off the plane in silence. The cabin stayed quiet. No applause. No excuses. Just accountability. Nia remained standing, unbroken. This story isn't about wealth. It's not about power. It's about who society believes belongs and who it questions by default. And that's why stories like this matter. This is Voices Under Color, where racism stories, lived experiences, and uncomfortable truths are told so they can't be ignored. If you believe no one should be humiliated, assaulted, or excluded for existing in a space they earned, like, subscribe, and share. Because silence protects abuse, and awareness forces accountability.